And for now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the first panel discussion titled Innovations and UAE Global Competitiveness, and it will be moderated by Ms.Eve, Hester-Wyne, journalist and TV director. Now please welcome her on stage. That is for first. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we will be welcoming we're going to be honored to have Their Excellencies as part of its panelists. Please welcome on stage the following: His Excellency Engineer Mohammed Ahmed bin Abdul Aziz Shehhi, the Undersecretary for Economic Affairs in the Ministry of Economy of the UAE. Also, His Excellency Rashed Karim Alblooshi, the Undersecretary of the Department of Economic Development in Abu Dhabi. His Excellency Mohammed bin Jarsh Falasi, the Undersecretary of the Abu Dhabi Department of Energy. And last but not least, Her Excellency Dr. Shaikha Dhaheri, the Secretary General of the Environment Agency in Abu Dhabi. Your Excellencies, the panel is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Technology Innovation Pioneers Summit 2020. While the panel are getting ready, let's have a little introduction to what we're going to be talking about. I'm Eve Hester-Wyne, and I'll be your moderator for this session, where we're looking at innovations and UAE global competitiveness. So, what's the bigger picture here? At this summit, we're gathering for a global mission to protect the planet through the use of technology. The idea is to curate strategic conversations and different perspectives, combining them into an innovation ecosystem. In particular, we want to hear about initiatives that have yielded impactful outcomes. As we start this panel discussion, I'd like to thank again the UAE Ministry of Economy and the Department of Economic Development, Abu Dhabi, for hosting us today. Now, the UAE made significant advances in competitiveness globally and regionally last year. It improved its business-friendly environment, served as a springboard for innovation, and encouraged more startups. Going forward, the UAE leadership is determined to scale new heights by boosting all sectors through technology, innovation, and supporting more pioneers. This panel will highlight key initiatives from both the federal perspective and from that of Abu Dhabi, focusing on the sectors of healthcare, energy, and the environment. I'm delighted to be joined on stage by my distinguished panelists. Please give them a round of applause. I'm very much looking forward to hearing all of your opinions this morning. We've heard some of you make your opening remarks, and we'll be following up on this. Now, my first question is to His Excellency Engineer Mohammed Ahmed bin Abdul Aziz Al-Shehhi of the Ministry of Economy. Your Excellency, on the federal level, there are many initiatives that support innovation. Can you enlighten us on the ecosystem and its way forward?
Very good morning for everybody, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Very happy to be here. Ever since the introductions and the launching of the UAE Vision 2021, where one of the key enablers was to transform the UAE from the conventional economy to a very much knowledge-based economy driven by innovation. There were a set of national agendas put to different ministries and authorities within the UAE to drive that initiative, to drive that vision. And the Ministry of Economy was given the task of working with our partners. And under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Sultan Mansouri, we worked together to achieve many of the national agendas and to achieving a lot of this KPI. One of the most important things is to continue to diversify the economy and make it less dependent on oil. And to do that, you need to invest so much into innovations. And one of the national agenda is that, for example, as an indicator, is the Global Innovation Index, which is also responsibility of the UAE, the Ministry of Economy. To do that, we have to put together with the government a set of strategies. One of the key strategies was, one, the innovation and advanced innovation strategies, where they put a set of sectors that we need to focus on in order to achieve the Vision 2021. The UAE Artificial Intelligence Strategy and the establishment of the UAE Ministry for Artificial Intelligence, UAE Fourth Industrial Revolution Strategy, and the establishment of the Council for the Fourth Industrial Revolutions, which is led by Her Excellency Sarah Al-Amiri. In addition to that, there are many different vision and strategies that put together to drive UAE vision toward 2021 and the starting of the centennial 2071.
Excellent. Now, moving along to His Excellency Rashed Abdul Karim Alblooshi, we heard you speak earlier. Following up on that, innovation in Abu Dhabi is becoming a natural factor in the development process. When it comes to economic development, now, how can we measure the success in creating these impacts?
Very good question. Good morning again. How do we measure the success of this event, the success of the innovations? The direct and the tangible measurement is the number of the applicants. We just said like there are 4,000 has already been applied for this program. And since 2017, we see the numbers increasing sharply. And even the awareness today, Abu Dhabi became one of the places where the innovators are looking at. On one hand, there's the rules, regulations, the attractiveness of these ideas to come to us here, and then the ecosystem that we talk about are available. Today we have Hub 71, we have ADGM, Masdar, and there are other different entities around these ideas to support the innovative ideas. And this is, again, the belief that we have, as mentioned by Aziz, the growing an economy, having a sustainable growth, and having a knowledge base would always come from the innovators, come from the innovations as a services, as a products. This is why we always make sure that the results are shown, the results are proven, and hopefully Abu Dhabi will continue being a hub for the innovators.
I have no doubt about that, it will. Moving along to Her Excellency Shaikha Al-Dhaheri. Your Excellency, technology and innovation are key ingredients to create sustainability. What initiatives and incentives does EAD provide to support innovators and startups in growing their social enterprises?
Good morning again. First, let me thank all who made it today to this event. Looking at the attendees from this view, it gives me a great feeling, because it shows how much people from different sectors are interested in innovation and technology. For us as an environment agency, and because we are a government entity, we are not innovator. We cannot be, we do innovation, but slightly in a different way. We try to be innovators in the way we develop our policies and regulation and so on. However, we could attract innovation and technology through three means. One, by supporting, secondly, by involving, and thirdly, by partnership. By supporting innovators and technologies by providing the data that EAD holds. This is one of our strengths. We have 25 years worth of data, a very accurate and credible data that could be shared, and it's actually shared publicly with researchers, with the students, with consultants, and so on. And we believe by sharing those data, it helps those innovators and entrepreneurs. And it gives us also a very solid knowledge around our state of environment and also in addressing our challenges. That's one. We do involve entrepreneurs and researchers and students and other sectors. For example, yesterday we launched the Choral Innovation Lab, and we call for everyone to participate in this lab in order to help us in saving our corals. And that's part of the environmental challenge, because we know that climate change is affecting almost everything, including corals. Secondly, by partnership, us partnering with the Ministry of Economy and with the Department of Economy is our kind of commitment that we need to drive the innovation and technology forward.
Excellently put, and a very good point that, you know, there are, as part of a body like yours, you need creative strategies to engage with innovators. Moving to His Excellency Engineer Mohammed Juma bin Jarsh Al Falasi, can you give us an overview of your sector, the energy sector in Abu Dhabi, and the objectives of Towards a New Energy Era, which, as we know, was announced during the World Future Energy Summit 2020?
First, I'd like to thank everyone. I am so glad to be here.
I think we all are. It's a lovely gathering.
Thank you. And well, ever since we exported the first barrel in 1962, we were focused on fueling the development of the economy aggressively, to the extent that it is a energy-intensive economy transformation. Now we reached a point where there is a huge paradigm shift, technology development, innovations around the energy sector is massive. Disruptive technologies are emerging, so we had to stop and re-evaluate the position. It started long back, however. Recently in Abu Dhabi in 2018, there was a huge transformation within the government, separating the policy making and regulations from the operating arms, and so much focus on innovation, technology, and long-term planning and transformation. And the results was a clear decoupling in power and water production, going for more sustainable, more clean technology. We've started the decoupling process 3 years ago. Now we are building only reverse osmosis for water production. We developed the largest solar plant in the world, and we are going to develop more. So we need innovations in many aspects, and in digitalization of our grid for maintaining a sustainable, secure, and reliable sector that can remain fueling the economy and developing the UAE to achieve its targets on the local level and on the international, supporting, of course, our colleagues and friends from the local government and the ministries of the UAE, because we are liable to support the UAE targets developed in the UAE Strategy 2050 and 2071.
Certainly, many points to chew over in the next. Many points to chew over in the next few minutes. Coming back to Ahmed bin Abdul Aziz Al Shehhi from the Ministry of Economy, you were talking about the Global Innovation Index. Now, the UAE is achieving higher rankings every year in this index. What's the impact of TIP and similar initiatives on this? What contribution do they make?
It is always important that to measure your success through different international indexes. And I think GII is a very important tool. We have been maintaining a very good position and globally. However, we have so much ambitions. At the moment, we are the first in the Arab world. However, we're still 36th globally. And we have so much to do in order for us to be in the top 10. And that need partnerships through different entities within the government, Ministry of Education, Central Bank, Competitiveness Council, and such program and platform such as TIP and other program can also contribute tremendously toward the improvement of the UAE ranking and GII. Because such platform attract talents from all over the world. We put challenges in the front of them. So some of those challenges is very specific to the region, and some of the challenges are very much global challenges. And I believe such a platform will continue to contribute toward the improvement of the ranking of the UAE and the Global Innovation Index. And I would like to emphasize that the Ministry of Economy by itself is only orchestrating the work and the GII index. However, there are many different entities within the government. They have to work together with us in order for us to reach to the higher numbers. The local government, through the economic departments or environmental department or the health authorities or the energies, they're all contributing in this very important, very complicated also formulas in calculating the improvements of the GII. Therefore, by all means, TIP is an important tool that can contribute, hopefully, to the positively improving our numbers and ranking globally.
A very important tool, no doubt at all. Your Excellency Rashed Alblooshi, DED as well as MOE in the partnership that we've just mentioned was the initiators of TIP. What were the driving forces behind this?
Again, the main driver of this initiatives is the knowledge-based economy. And as mentioned even by Dr. Shaikha, the best ideas would come from non-government sectors, the private sectors. This is why in programs like that, we encourage all the stakeholders, being students, being professors, being specialists in their own field, to participate in putting services, innovative services, toward solving a challenge that we face. This is why we make it very realistic this year. As I said when I was talking here, Department of Economy had a cooperation with the Department of Energy, Environment Agency, and Department of Health to look at the biggest challenge that we face. We clustered that and we put the challenge for the public to give us their feedback, give us their issues to solve these challenges. These are what make a sustainable knowledge base and continuity of the development of the economy, being the economy itself, being the culture, being the society. This is the main driver of the issue.
Fantastic point there. Yeah, we'll keep it beside you. Dr. Shaikha Dhaheri, in terms of clean energy, ocean conservation and single-use plastics, for example, as His Excellency Rashed Alblooshi was talking about, we have certain challenges. We need the innovators to come and partner and bring the solutions to these challenges to us. Talk to us a little bit about these were the initially identified 3 challenges at TIP, where technical innovation could make a significant difference. What other challenges are there where technological innovation can make a difference?
To me, I think all the environmental challenges are today very much important. Looking at the Davos risk report that was published after the meeting in January, all the top 5 is environmental challenges. And I would like to shed the light in 2 other challenges. Definitely climate change is one of the top ranked challenge, which I will talk about more later. But I would like to talk about water, mainly because we are in a region that is suffering from scarcity in water. And that's fine, but we will continue to depend on sourcing our fresh water from desal, which is been talked about by His Excellency here, and we will depend, even with moving to ROs, reverse osmosis desal plant, it's not enough. From an environmental point of view, I think we need to even try to encourage more innovation in this sector. Statistics says that cities will depend on in the coming next 3 decades, will demand 70% more water. Plus, till 2025, there would be an increase of 10% annually on desal around the region. With that means to me, coming from the environment sector, more pressure on my marine environment, more discharge of brine water, more discharge of hot water, which means probably loss of really important species to UAE and to the region, and coral reef, which sustain definitely other species and fisheries. So there is a cry for innovation in this field. When we talk about water, I have to talk also about food, because water and food goes well together. We need more food to feed the increasing population here in UAE and globally, which also means that we will need more water to cultivate. But the issue is not the cultivation itself, it's part of the issue. We end up wasting a lot of food that ends in the landfills, which release more methane, which means contributing more to a climate change. So the second challenge is to minimize our food waste, how to come up with technologies that help us first, of course, to use less water to cultivate and provide food for human beings, but also technologies and innovations that help us to less consume. And maybe it's even not innovation, it's even something to encourage us to change our behavior, change our choices as in lifestyle.
I could see while you were speaking there, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Falasi was engaging with what you were saying. A response to what your esteemed colleague has just been talking about in terms of the challenges that the sectors, let's face it, must face together.
Energy is central to economic growth, social development, quality of life. I fully agree, and that's why we are here, and we are asking innovators to help support demand side management and development in relation to technology improvement and demand utilization. Recently, Abu Dhabi had not just what I had mentioned earlier was just the big lines of transformation towards sustainable future in energy. However, at the same time, Abu Dhabi government had approved this demand side management strategy through 10 programs. One of them is water, and the intention is to reduce water consumption or optimize water consumption massively to 32% by 2035, and we are reaching for all innovators and businesses. Recently, Abu Dhabi energy sector had announced also a super ISCO scheme to improve that. So innovators can participate and small businesses in the area of retrofittings of building, development of new coolants and water management schemes. There are a lot going on. You've been hearing in the news since the Sustainability Week. So we are working hand in hand with the Environment Agency also in developing and reviewing plans for 2050 in terms what is going on around the world and what are the technologies that are fast evolving and might be disruptive that will help us improve also the quality of life. And I would admit, and I gave example earlier where we retrofitted, for example, quite few number, a big number actually of households, and one of the ladies was so happy, and I'd love to share this with everyone. And we thought that because the bill was decreased, money saving, but she said no, thank you, and she was so happy. I used to take my kids to the hospital every a month or two because of the air conditioning environment. However, today, no, I'm not taking them at all. So it's not just money saving, it's improvement of quality of life and health.
And that is all very encouraging to hear. We have run out of time. So just to summarize in terms of what we've learned from this illustrious panel this morning, the UAE continues to move up on the Global Innovation Index, as we've heard. There's still quite a lot to be done. As we heard, innovations like TIP, and especially TIP, really do help in terms of putting the government bodies and the big agencies in touch with the entrepreneurs and innovators that are going to provide the creative solutions that we are going to need going forward to work hand in hand, as has been said, to improve the quality of life for all. Would you please give a big round of applause to our panel who shared their insights with us this morning. Thank you very much.